Welcome to your daily horoscope for July 12th, 2021, which is a Monday. Now, before we begin, I would like to let you know that I do daily video horoscopes, weekly video horoscopes, and monthly sun rising sign video horoscopes that you can watch all on my YouTube channel. I also request you to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you can be notified every time I post a video. Now, that being said, we are coming into Monday after an extremely intense weekend. We had the moon in the sign of Leo where it opposed Saturn, and it still is in the sign of Leo, but the weekend was a major point where after the new moon in Cancer on Friday, we were asked to transform some things, finish some unfinished business, and then take certain decisions that balance the long term with our heart's desires. And now, coming into Monday, the moon is still in the sign of Leo. And let's talk about that. So, the first thing that happens at about 4 a.m. Pacific time, and it's that moon and Venus are going to conjunct. They're going to meet up. You can see this on the chart right here. And the moon is our emotional body, it is our heart and soul, and Venus is the planet that rules projects, finances, love, romance, skills, self-worth, values, all these things. So this is definitely a positive moment for our Venus related things. Emotionally, we're feeling good about these things. We're starting a new cycle in how we feel about these things. However, we also have Mars there, right? We have Mars there. So we cannot isolate this whole energy. It's one energy. And I had mentioned this on the weekend video that this Mars-Venus conjunction that will come exact tomorrow, July 13th, is about finding the courage, drive, willpower to take actions towards the decision we have already taken regarding Venus related things, love, money, projects, relationships, values, self-worth, skills. We've taken a decision. We did that last week sometime. And with the new moon, there was also a new beginning in this area. And now I feel like we'll find that courage, because Mars is courage, it's drive, it's action, it's willpower. We'll find all those things to move forward towards Venus related things. And at this point, our emotions are also falling in sync with our drive to make things happen. Sometimes, it's like, okay, I want to work on this project. I have the drive, but I don't feel like it. I have the willpower to do it, but somewhere you're kind of pushing yourself to do it. You have the willpower, you do it, but emotionally you're like, oh, I have to do this. But this is not that. I feel at this point, even our emotions begin to align with that willpower. It's like, yeah, I feel like it, and I have the drive to do it. And do what? Take that step, make that forward movement on the decision that we've already taken regarding our projects, finances, self-worth, values, skills, love, partnerships, legal issues, etc. So that's how the morning starts on Monday. And let's talk about what else. Let's talk about the next important thing, which I mentioned on the weekend video as well. It's that Jupiter and Mercury are going to trine, right? 120-degree angle. And this, I said, is a positive message of sorts with something connected to the past, or a positive realization, a positive piece of communication with something connected to the past. And the reason I believe that it's positive is because Jupiter is there. Jupiter is the most positive planet. And Mercury is communication, it is thinking, it is thought processes. So if it's not a positive message, positive piece of communication, positive realization to something connected to the very recent past, then it is something positive connected to our day-to-day routine, our diet, could be our health, could be our job as well, because Mercury is also all those things as well. But this has an emotional element to it. It does. So that's the other thing that's happening today. And then by the evening, say at about, let's see, actually it's technically tomorrow, but I'm going to just show it so that you guys are aware. The moon is going to enter the sign of Virgo. And this is about 2 a.m. Pacific time, July 13th, so technically tomorrow. And this is a point where we begin to organize things. But before we talk about that, I want you to know that the moon changes signs every 2.5 days. And when it does, the energy in our life, the focus of our life shifts in subtle ways. And when the moon was in Leo, it started about Saturday evening up until 2 a.m. July 13th. We were very focused on doing what our heart wants. But at the same time, we needed to take decisions and balance those things that our heart wanted with the long term. And now in Virgo is the most organized sign, right? It loves to organize things. It's our day-to-day routine, it's planning, it's all those things. So for the next 2.5 days, whatever decisions we took over the weekend, even with the new moon and even in the last 2 weeks, I think we'll start to get organized about those things. Okay, I've decided, I've chosen the path, I've kind of even started it, but how do I get organized about it? How do I plan? What's the best way to do this? So I think in the next 2.5 days, we will be doing those things. And the moon in Virgo in the next 2.5 days will trine Uranus. It will trine Pluto. So earth signs are all about manifesting. Earth signs are all about this reality, right? So I think this is when all the internal work that we've done, all the decisions we've taken will start to kind of be organized, We'll start to maybe see it manifest in our day-to-day routine, whatever decisions, changes we decided to take. And we are building up to the Mars-Venus conjunction. I mean, they're almost there, but we are building up to that. And this is a new cycle for Mars-Venus things, right? It can be a new cycle for our projects. It could be a new cycle for our love partnerships, relationships. It could be a new cycle for developing and acquiring some skills or how we think about ourselves. But more importantly, I feel this is the point where we find the courage, we find the drive to work towards the decision we've taken towards Venus-related things, love, money, relationships, self-worth, value, skills, to make things happen. And today is the day where our emotions will start to align with those changes. And over the weekend, with the Pluto retrograde moon opposition, because that happened on Saturday, I had said that we're going to transform something, end something, and I think we have. But I didn't mention that this transformation, this ending, will, I think, take some more time to come about fully. Because Pluto is in retrograde, right? It needs to go over that spot again for the third time, for that process of change, transformation to complete itself. But we are 2/3 of the way there. So that's something I wanted to mention. And that's all the astrology for today. That's all. Another thing I want to mention is that with the moon conjuncting the Mars-Venus energy today, yes, it gives us the drive and the courage and all those things. It can be beautiful, it can be beneficial, but on the other hand, it can also be a little frustrating, to be honest with you, because Mars is there. Mars is a planet that can feel frustrated when it's not getting its way, So this is a point where we might feel angry, we might feel frustrated. But the whole process, I believe, will lead us to develop that alignment between our emotions and our drives so that we can move forward towards Venus-related things. Sometimes we get frustrated with a certain way of being and then we change that. And then things start to fall into place. And I think this is what that is. Could be. It's not necessary that you feel that, but I thought I'd mention it because it could happen that way. Energies can manifest in multiple ways. We have the energy. Now, how it manifests, that I can only give possibilities. So that's that. And now I'll give a brief background in what's been happening in the astrology. And these are the undercurrents that we feel every single day, right? Sometimes we say, if I'm saying, it's a positive day and you're feeling stressed out, it's probably because of these underlying energies that you're feeling and those are acting out. And these energies, I'll talk about them one by one. If you've seen this, you can skip to the card reading. If not, then I urge you to watch at least once. The first is the Saturn-Uranus square, right? Now, we are seeing this energy after 21 years, so a long time. And we'll feel this energy all year, even next year. And Saturn-Uranus square is asking us to change. It's asking us to get rid of old things that don't serve us, whether it's a habit, a thought process, a structure, anything, and embrace the new. It's also about embracing our unique, authentic self. Okay? So this process of getting rid of the old, finding the new, getting rid of the idea of who we think we should be and becoming who we actually are will feel challenging because they're squaring, which is a stressful aspect. So that's something we deal with every day, and we will deal with all year. The second thing that we are building is the cycle that started in December of 2020. So Saturn and Jupiter met up in December of 2020 after 20 years. They started a new cycle. So we are about 6-7 months into this cycle, and right now we're building. We're laying that foundation. So that's something that we do every day as well. And we are going to continue to lay the foundation for at least 2 more years. At least. And the third thing that we are dealing with happened in January of 2020, yes, a year and a half ago, and that is the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. They met up after 38 years, so a long time, and they ended a cycle that started in 1982 and began a new cycle in Jan of 2020, a cycle that has transformed our material reality in powerful ways, right? And we are understanding it, we've understood it, but things are still falling into place and will continue to fall into place, I believe, for the next 2 to 3 years. And we'll be in this new cycle till 2053. So a long time. So right now, we're in the process of really changing things up, because 2 major cycles ended last year and they began, right? And what happens when we begin something? We lay the foundation for it. The old has to go, the new has to come in. So these 2 years are really powerful when it comes to making that change. And that's why it can feel stressful. So that's that. And the last thing I'll mention are the nodes. The North Node is in Gemini, the South Node is in Sag. The nodes have an 18.5-year cycle and they're karmic. So they were in the same spot between 2001 and 2003. So what that means is certain themes, situations, events might come back into your life from 2001 and 2003. And the goal of that is so that you can deal with at a karmic level. Either close them out or reprocess them, review them, let them go, or build on them, either way. So that might be happening, and the nodes came into this placement May 2020, so it could have been happening since then. So that's another thing. And now I will pick a card for today, and then we'll close the reading out, right? Okay, something's fallen quite fast. I'm going to go with this. Flexible. I think the message today is to be flexible. I think this can also be when the moon meets up with Venus and Mars. And I did say that, it can lead to frustration, and that might help us change things up. Find that alignment between our emotions, our drive, and how we need to move forward, the decision we've taken. And I think being flexible is a good way to do that. So that's the message for the day. And now I will request you to hit the subscribe button or the bell icon so that you can be notified every time I post a video. Today, overall, I would say is a lighter day. And we are building up to the Sun, Neptune trine. We are also building up to the Sun, Pluto opposition. Chiron is going to go retrograde within the week. So this is another intense sort of week in the astrology. Not as intense as the past 2 weeks, but still an intense one. And we'll talk about it. So yeah, I'll leave you with that and have a great Monday. Bye.